Hello and welcome back. Today we are reading chapter 4 and we're probably going to read chapter 5 as well. Chapter 4. When I went to bed that night, I closed my eyes like I usually do. But instead of dreaming about me hitting a home run for the Mets, my brain went to zombie land. I'm going to leave out a lot of the scariest parts of my nightmare because I don't want you to close this book and run away screaming. But here are some highlights. In my dream, I was about 5 years old. I was at the beach, building a sandcastle when a bunch of zombies came out of the ocean. They had jellyfish for noses, and instead of arms, they had giant octopus tentacles with stingers on the end of each one. I screamed and ran down the beach. The zombies chased me. As they got closer, I could almost feel their tentacles stinging me. One of them actually wrapped itself around my arm and started to squeeze. I used every bit of my strength to break free. I ran for the lifeguard shack, but the faster I ran, the farther away it got. Then I fell face down into the sand. The sand got up my nose, and I couldn't breathe. I felt a cold, slimy tentacle wrap around my ankle and started to pull me closer, 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 and then I woke up. I was screaming, "Let me go, let me go!" That woke up Frankie. He had been asleep in his Spider-Man sleeping bag next to my bed. "Zip, what are you doing?" he said with a yawn. "Running from a zombie attack." "That's nice," he said, still half asleep. "Did they eat your brains?" "I don't think so. I'm still here." I reached up to my head to check if there were any zombie bite marks. There weren't. I leaned down to show Frankie, but he had already fallen back asleep. I rolled back in bed and closed my eyes. As soon as I did, there they were again. Zombies. Hundreds of them, pounding on the hot sand with their tentacles. The terrible drumming sound got louder and louder in my ears. My eyes flew open. It was late, and I was so tired, but there was no way I could fall asleep. Not with all those zombies in my room. It was going to be a long, long, hard night. And we're going to go into chapter 5. I must have eventually fallen asleep because when I opened my eyes, it was light out. I checked my room to make sure that it was zombie-free. Everything was in place, except for Frankie. His sleeping bag was empty. Oh no, did the zombies get him instead of me? I jumped out of bed and called out his name, but there was no answer. Slowly, I tiptoed across the carpet. The movie last night said that zombies are attracted to loud noises, so I wanted to be extra special quiet. I opened the door to my room and looked down the hall. It was empty. I counted to 3 and ran as fast as I could into the bathroom. I breathed a sigh of relief. "Hank," I whispered to myself, "your imagination has gone wild. This is not a movie. This is real life, and you're in your real bathroom with real toothpaste and a real shower curtain that I'm going to check again now." I grabbed the curtain and pulled it all the way to one side. "Ah!" I screamed at the top of my lungs. There, in my real bathtub, was a real zombie. His face was green, his lips were green, and his body was covered in torn rags. He let out a long moan. "Hank," he groaned over and over. "Hank." I almost jumped out of my pajamas without unbuttoning them. I opened my mouth to scream and nothing came out. Well, something came out. It was a little chunk of last night's dinner. I wasn't going to stay around long enough to clean it up. I turned on my heels and bolted down the hall. "Zip," a familiar voice said. "It's just me, Frankie." "Frankie?" I wheeled around to look at him. Did they get you too? Are you a zombie?" Frankie laughed and stood up in the bathtub. "It's just me in my Halloween costume," he answered. "I had it in my bag, so I thought I'd test it out for trick-or-treating tonight. Looks like it worked." I wanted to tell Frankie that his little test had scared me so much that my whole forehead had broken out in a cold sweat, but I was ashamed to admit that the zombie movie had gotten to me. "Tell the truth," Frankie said, climbing out of the bathtub. "I had you believing I was a real zombie, didn't I?" No way, I answered, using my coolest voice. I knew it was you all along. I heard small feet stomping down the hall, then a hiss. It could only be Emily. No one else in my family walks like an elephant and wears a hissing iguana sound around her neck like a scarf. Hi, Frankie, she said as she came into the bathroom, not even blinking at his zombie costume. Wait a minute. Emily is younger than me, and she wasn't scared for one single second by Frankie's zombie. What was wrong with me? Hank, Papa Pete's on the phone for you, Emily said. He wants to make a plan for today, although I don't get why anyone would want to spend the day with you. I'd rather spend the day with a banana peel. That was such a weird thing to say, I didn't even know how to answer her. So instead, I just made like a banana peel and slid all the way to the phone. Hanky, my boy, Papa Pete said. I could hear the smile in his voice. How's your throwing arm today? Are you in the mood to go to the park and have a little pre-trick-or-treat catch? Sure, Papa Pete. But I had a bad night's sleep, so I don't know how good I'll be. You don't have to be good. We're just going to have fun together. I've got my karate class this morning, so I'll come by after lunch. Okay, I said, and then just before I hung up, I added, Papa Pete, you don't think there are going to be any zombies in the park, do you? Zombies? He sounded surprised by my question. Yeah, like the living dead kind of zombies, the ones whose faces hang off their chins. Oh, those zombies, he said with a laugh. Well, you never know. There might be one or two around, but if we don't yell, they won't bother us. I hear they're attracted to noise. I hung up the phone and gulped. Then, I think Papa Pete was kidding. But then again, he did say, you never know. When I went back to my room, Frankie was folding up his costume and getting ready to go home. So, Zip, he said, are you still going as a kitchen sink tonight? I can lend you my plastic faucet that sticks on your forehead with a suction cup. It came with my magic set. I just changed my mind. I'm going as a zombie fighter. What exactly is that? A guy who fights zombies? Using what exactly? I don't know yet. As soon as you leave, I'm going to the kitchen to put together my anti-zombie gear. Frankie left and I got busy. I went through every drawer and cabinet picking out anything that looked like it could be used for a protection against a zombie attack. An egg beater, a couple of wooden spoons, a clump of garlic to wear around my neck, a frying pan. I used the belt of my terry cloth robe to hang all of the anti-zombie gear around my waist. As a final touch, I wrapped my chest in tinfoil so a zombie couldn't detect my body heat. I checked my costume out in the mirror. If I do say so myself, I looked very prepared and even a little bit scary. A guy most zombies wouldn't want to mess with. Not that there's any such thing as zombies, of course. And tomorrow we will start chapter 6. Bye guys, have a good day.